Greetings. Alrighty. So here we are for yet another session of Thousand Year Old Vampire. One thing I just want to take care of before we start is I actually started getting some migraine precursors earlier, which means if you don't have migraines, thankfully you don't know what the heck that is. But basically it's like for me, I see before I actually get the actual migraine, like the headache, I see like what seems like dark lightning creeping on my vision, and I actually in the worst cases you can be blinded by this. Literally you can't see past this stuff and everything. Anyway, I took some medicine for it. I took the high caffeine Tylenol, and it's pretty much cleared up. I just want to put it out there, if it just goes bad, and I can't even read my screen or something, I'm gonna probably stop. But I did have some trouble with my voice last time, and I cut my Thousand Year Old Vampire stream an hour short. So I didn't want to do that twice in a row. I'm going for the three. But I just wanted to put it out there in case something happens. Right now, I'm all about the show must go on. But if it should go take a turn, I don't want to subject myself or you, the viewer, to this. So let's get going. Let's start things out here. But anyway, thanks for coming. And let's do some vampire stuff, right? So as I do when I start these out, let's kind of go over what where we stand right now. So let's see here. There we go. All right. Let's see. Hold on. All right. So right now, I've gone through several names. Guillaume d'Avignon was the original. Salah was another one, intermediary. Right now, the name he has is Ansgar. It's from Swedish. Uh, what do you call it? Swedish origin, because he was in Sweden when he got it. Let's see. So I have a bunch of checked skills and one lost one. That's really weird. I've checked a bunch, as you see, the checks, X's. I've only lost like one. The prompt has only told me to lose one of them so far. And for those just joining on this episode, as a note, I'm not doing the standard prompts. I'm doing the alternate prompts in the Thousand Year Old Vampire book. So you'll see a little bit different here. So yeah, I have a bunch checked. So they're like checked means this is a skill you have and you've shown it in the past, so now I can kind of role play knowing any of this in the future. Anything lost, I can't. And technically anything that's not checked, I really can't roleplay because until a prompt tells me to, because it's not checked. It's something I could do, but not something I've done, if you see the distinction there. So marks, for marks, this is like the signs, the things that set you apart as a vampire from humanity. Let's see. So right now, or either powers or the things that outward appearances and stuff. And if it's something you can cover up, how do you cover it up? So my original mark was because I was fed on by my wrists. Wristy blood akin to stigmata. I wear gloves or wristbands to cover it. And then later on, just recently-ish, when I was in the Swedish castle serving the noble, my skin went wholly white, drinking too many inbred nobles. And so we wear pigment or headwear to kind of do that. So I'm not sure if you guys can just, I've kind of seen my own thing here. So my t-shirt says sometimes I'll see how far I can push this thing. This is actually just in case somebody's wondering, you're probably not. My wife got this for me after I showed her this video. It was like this Australian couple. It's basically like, hey, it's like anything you put on this coffee table, like it disappears, and it, just goes away like magic. And of course the woman is actually the one cleaning it up and the dude is completely oblivious. And my wife thought that was quite apropos. So, and one of the things is like the dude says, sometimes I like to see how far I can push this thing, and just all sorts of crap on there, and yet it still gets cleaned up by magic. Anyway, Let's see here. So can I go through things? Let's go to characters. So these are people that I know. And right now, only like literally every mortal that I know is dead. Every single mortal. I have several immortals, however. So let's start. So Lamia was the vampirist who turned me. Dimitri is an alchemist who has a philosopher's stone, and that's made him immortal. Excuse me. Victoria was this thief that I met, and I found her quite intriguing. Unfortunately, um, uh, Lamia decided to turn her, basically turn her into this hunter quasi vampire thing who basically killed every mortal I knew at the time. So literally everyone on this list up until then, and then made her into like again this half vampire, bloodthirsty, just hunter killer thing, which I faced down and survived. So she's still out there. Aziza Aman was a vampiric lover of mine for a decent amount of time, and we've since parted ways. Once he found out, kind of a first-hand account in a book of what I did during the First Crusade against the Saracens, his people. Saul, he was originally a head in the box. He was a golem head, and me and Aziza, eventually uh, made a body for him. So he is a full-bodied golem, also an immortal. And right now, I don't know where he is. The last session, I was actually trapped under like collapsed wall of a castle for a century, and I don't know where Saul is. But he's still out there, so we'll see what happens there. Let's look at resources. So not a great deal of resources, but where I lack in resources, I make up for in skills at the moment. So I have my camping kit. This was like my one of my original items from the start of the game. Counselor to Klaus. Wow, I should maybe see. I even though it's not a prompt isn't telling me to, I'm half interested in like getting rid of this, like losing this resource because Klaus, it was his castle that I was trapped under a century ago. So he and everyone I knew and whatnot are dead, long since dead from old age, or maybe they got killed in the fire which originally destroyed the castle. I don't know. So I'll keep this around for flavor. Maybe something will come up where this will be a good resource. Arcane Lineage. This came from a prompt where basically um, immortals I meet could potentially be my offspring or descendants. Interesting. Let's go to I have a bunch of forgotten memories now. I'm almost on page like 3 here, I think. Oh my goodness, I really do actually need to make a third page. So I've forgotten a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna. It's become so much that I don't think it's worth. What do you call it? Really taking the time to go over the forgotten memories. Let's just go with the actual memories that I still have. Let's see here. So memory one, spending time with learn of the area, examine origins. So basically, this was from a prompt where I basically ran into a bunch of philosophers and kind of examined my own origins, and in so doing, I um, basically see mortals as these temporary little minuscule in time things. Um, and kind of in examining my own origins, basically vampires being come to the conclusion that vampires are actually like the personification of the evils of man. I'm just created by man, so why shouldn't I treat them horribly? I'm just a byproduct of evil, so why don't I just be evil to those whom created me? So that's bad for humans generally around me, since I'm just more cool with like killing them because they don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Uh, let's see. So I had this resource of an Arabic science text for a time, um, and I leave it behind this museum and hopes another immortal will enjoy it as I have as time goes on. That was an interesting prompt. Let's see. So here is memory two is where I wake up from my slumber. Basically, I was trapped under this stone wall, and soldiers kind of like were just camped out at the ruins and kind of pushed aside part of the wall, found me still intact because I'm a vampire. And I got a taste of blood, and boom, no more, no more soldiers. Uh, so let's see. This is where I get the that arcane um, lineage thing. So somehow with Immortal, I created a baby, and my daughter, who was the baby, grew up and had descendants of her own. So I could meet descendants in my travels. By chance, I found Ingrid. Ingrid was the woman who I had the baby with, who is like my like lover, but more counselor. Within the castle, the Swedish castle. So Ingrid's grave had on the tombstone basically request that the rosary be said on her birthday, even though every year, even though she knew that like my character finds the rosary like uncomfortable, like almost like the the vampire legend of like the cross, causing discomfort and holding at bay. So basically, in a weird mean twist, she's having me remember her in the way that hurts me. So that's women for you, right? That's not women for you. Women are fine. Let's see here. So I will perform this right in her memory. So basically, he's gonna do it because it's the right thing to do in his head. Let's see. In funding old account, so merchants, I found listing. Let's see. Ironically, this is like where I find where my name starts changing. I think so. Let's see. Or I forget what the thread was here, but yeah. So I became Salah for a while. I was known as Salah. In fact, I still technically, well, can't say I still technically am, but I was known as Salah when I came upon the Swedish noble Klaus. And I become his counselor, basically his go-to right-hand guy for advice. And it's during the time in the castle, all these inbred, nobles coming around, that I kind of basically become ghostly white, taking in all of their, um, inbred blood, if you will. Let's see here. This is a weird. This is a weird prompt. I came in. I came upon two youths who look like myself and Ingrid, just by chance, and uh, and it's kind of like a closure for me. I'd kill both of them. Yeah, so Salash slash Angsar, I have to look at that name again. I keep forgetting it. Is not a good guy. Not good. Unless he decides you are worthy or worthwhile and you're immortal, you could easily be a snag. So here is, strangely enough, and I've retained my memory of my making as a vampire. So I remember Lamia was the one who made me. So there's still that. Lamia and Lamia's evil vow and stuff like that. So yeah, those are the memories I retained. I mean, for those of you who haven't like played through this yet, and maybe this is your first episode watching, um, vampires can only keep so many memories. They keep 5 memories, and each has a maximum of 3 experiences, and the experiences in them must be linked by some thread. Like you can see again, this is like my creation as a vampire. Um, like this is like the name that I had from some time ago, and kind of who I became. So this is like a you know who I am type of thing. I can't looking at it now doesn't seem very much like a thread, but you get the meaning. So anyway, so part of the horror of the game is losing um losing memories, because if you have every prompt requires an experience, and if there's no room, if all your memories are filled up with 3 experiences, or you have an empty space like this one, but there's just no common thread, you have to get rid of a memory. And now you can put it in a diary where you can like read about it and kind of keep a memory like that. But a diary can be lost, stolen, destroyed, etc. So yeah, so it's there's this scary part of it's a sadness of losing your memories. I saw this I saw this a tweet about a guy playing 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, and he was like, he'd carried this spear for like 800 years, as a what do you call it, as a resource, right? And eventually he lost it. He was, a prompt had him mark a resource as lost, and as he marked it, he realized he went over his memories. And this was like his father's spear. That's why he kept it. But he'd long since gotten rid of the memory. So, like, this vampire was keeping the spear out of habit. He didn't know why this thing was important to him anymore. By the time he lost it, it was just a nothing item. So, yeah, that's freaking sad as hell. So you get that. So okay, so we got over everything I want to go over. So let's do some prompts, shall we? So as usual, my thing will be do a prompt, take care of any paperwork, like checking skills, or marking off resources, or getting them, or creating them. Then I'll go to my journal, actually do like a longer written out thing for each prompt than is required by the game. And after that, then I'll actually make the experience that fits in here and go from there, and then go to the next prompt. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see here. Let's do a prompt roll. All right, 5. That's a big number. So let's go straight over to the journal. And here we are. So as a note, I'm almost like, let's see, I think he's almost almost 3 centuries old now. So little note here on my numbering scheme. So this was the prompt that ended the last session. So basically, this was the 47th prompt of the game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 47. The prompt number, and again, remember I'm doing the alternate prompts. Pardon me, is 87. It was the first prompt of that prompt. Sometimes prompts. Pardon me, got the things here. So sometimes some prompts have sub prompts. Like if you hit it again, you do the next thing there, and then followed by the year and common era. So this is 1375 common era. And this game started out in 1099, and he was 18 years old or so. So it was what, 1081 was his birth date. So do the math. So yeah, so let's see here. So 87 was the last prompt. So let's take a quick look. So 87 plus, what was it, 5? Yes. 87 plus 5 is what, 92. Let's see here. This is weird. I'm I'm doing the alternate prompts again. These, and basically in the description for them, they're like, as a warning, as a note. Some of these are like out of chronological order. They break the rules, and some of them they're nonsensical. So I have reserved the right as a player to ignore the nonsensical ones. So this is a weird one. I it doesn't play into the vampire the vampire and the world of the vampire as I'm seeing it. So the prompt actually is pardon me. One night while fasting, you suddenly realize you are wearing a mask, one which you've long mistaken for your face. You remove the mask. What do you look like under it? What else have you seen? Where else have you seen the face beneath your mask? Gain the mask as a resource. What do you do with it? That's nonsensical. Think I'm gonna skip this one. I just don't see, again, it doesn't really fit with this. I hate skipping them though. It seems like a cop out, but again, I have this vision of what is sensical, if you will, in these, and this just doesn't meet it. But let's see. This is a tough one. No, I'm gonna skip this one. I'm gonna re-roll. Let's see here. Let's go back. Okay, 4. All right. Let's see what we have. Okay, so and so 91. You begin to once again resemble a human in some way. What is it? Why do you think it has occurred? If appropriate, remove a mark. Okay, see this. Okay, this makes a little more sense. So, pardon me. Let's go back here and go to the character sheet. So I think we can safely get rid of this one. The skin. This was from drinking from inbred nobles for a very long time. So let's see here. Actually, I think I have to make this a separate separate box. Come on now. And we're gonna cut from here. And I'm gonna put in a new text box so I can, I can actually move this one to a different level. So this is going to the GM layer, so we'll see it soon. All right, so this makes some sense. So let's go to the journal now that I've done my record keeping. And let's see here. So this is prompt 48. Let's see, 791, I believe. Let me double check. Yep, 91. It's the first prompt, and because of this this prior prompt, it kind of told of like a long time. I'm gonna add 30 years onto this, so it'll be 1405. All right, so after leaving the commune, and having fed on the blood of the poor, namely the artists, for several decades. My skin loses its ghostly pallor, and I again begin to look somewhat more human. I didn't notice at first, as I rarely take the time to look in the mirror, but when a fellow painter painted my portrait, I saw how he gave me a human tone to my skin, which was shocking. Let's. Alright. Alright, so we can make it into a shocking. I found a bit more confidence in my ability to blend in without attracting questions or attention, and ventured out into the world again, leaving the commune behind, and but a memory for now. Ooh, that is foreshadowing. All right, so let's create the prompt memory. Let's see. So let's go right away and see if this fits in. All right, so basically, let's see. That's a tough one. What do I want to do? So I really want to hang on to the ones that are important to me right now. Are my, again, I want to keep my vampiric origins. Um, and I do want to keep the memories of Klaus. He and his family are very important to me, and could very well become again. I kind of like keeping this around, the like me coming out of my accident and induced slumber, and then this I could get rid of if I wanted. Gosh, it's hard. So I'm going to either get rid of this one, memory 4, or memory 1. Let's see. I think that having spent time with the artists, this whole, humans are these minuscule, worthless things might fade a bit. So let's get rid of this. Yeah. Let's say that this memory goes by the wayside. Let's move it over to forgotten. And again, looks like I have to use a new forgotten memory. So many forgotten memories. Let's see. All right. All right, so let's create the new memory in its place. All right. Let's see. Having spent decades at the artists commune, artists plural commune, I have found that my skin has returned to a human hue. I'm happy to be able to blend in more easily again. So again, for people maybe watching this for the first time, each experience under a memory has two main parts. We'll take potentially three. So one, what happened, and then semicolon, how you feel about it or what you did about it, and if you want to add more, then hyphen, etc., etc. So here we are. All right. Just a little bit if I can. All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So it's time for next prompt. Ooh, and as a note, at least right now, I feel my precursors have gone away completely. So the medicine is doing its job. All right. Let's see how we get lucky. Another 4. All right. Let's see here. So I was on number 91. So we're up to 95. Ooh, interesting. Fan to fear by resurgence in the popularity of old folk tales, you bloodily remove and carefully hide your heart. Interesting. What container do you place in? Where do you hide it? Take the stationary resource, my heart. Ooh. That's bordering on not being what I want to do for the vampire, but sure, let's go for it. Again, I hate skipping too many of these. It feels like a cop out, but again, I kind of want to maintain the, keep my vision of what being a vampire is all about intact in terms of these prompts. Like, again, something is just totally contrary to that or doesn't make any sense, I'm going to skip, especially with these alternate prompts. So let's see. So resource my heart. Where do I store it? All right, interesting. So let's go to resources and create a new one. Oh, jeez. What that big? Okay. My heart. Stationary. So, all right. This reminds me of the Vampire the Masquerade game. I think it's the followers of Set who can do exactly this, basically remove their heart and put it in a place of safety, that kind of thing. All right, so that's interesting. So let's go over here and now let's do the journal for it. Alrighty. So this is the 49th prompt. 95. First of this, and I think the only really. Let's give it another 5 years, so 1410. Let's see. And where is he traveling? I always have him traveling somewhere. Let's say... or do I need to really put it in here? I like to, just to kind of track where my guy's going. Let's see. I've been to Germany before. Okay, finding myself in German lands. Again, I'm not a history major, and it's really kind of irrelevant to this whole thing. I may I may end up looking up what happens during this year or that, but it's really not the goal of my run through of vampires, Thousand Year Vampire actually. So maybe others will do it differently, where it's very historically correct and accurate, but that's not this one. So let's see. Finding myself in German lands, I am beset at all turns and places by vampire legends and how to kill such a malignant creature. This bodes ill. I am actually not sure. I never really learned about vampires, to be sure. How I can be killed outside of the purifying rays of the sun. Would a stake in my heart end me? Heard. Heart end me. I hope to not find out. And decide to hedge my bets and remove it from my body entirely. I find to my let's see, if I find to my thankfulness, find my surprise. So he was kind of desperate for this. That its removal does not end me on the spot. But though I was rather careful in its removal. Once outside of my body, my non-beating heart finds its way into what? It's into an old Egyptian relic. In fact, the vessel held the heart of a long dead pharaoh before I decided to use it as my own vessel, storage, and safety. The pharaoh, however powerful in life, was but a mere mortal, and I feel no remorse at the removal of his body part from my vault, from my his body part from my new storage place. I don't know. I'm uninspired on this one. This line, I should say. What should this be? Whatever. All right. Cool. All right, let's make the memory real quick. Or not. That's the case maybe. Let's see here. What options do we have? Let's see. So this is how my body is changing. So I feel good about this. So let's do this. This will be another change. In an act of self-preservation, I have removed my own heart and stored it in a vessel that formerly held the heart of an Egyptian pharaoh. I feel no remorse in the act. So if you can't tell, like I'm doing kind of like a lot longer explanation, like a paragraph or more in the journal, and here I'm just reducing it to what the rules require, which is this shorter, experience line that basically sums up the stuff from the other. So there you go. Okay, so 2 there. Ooh, pardon me. I'm always getting tired at this time of night, even with all this caffeine from the stuff running through me. So okay, so I have 1 more experience left here, 2 here, but again, the when you put something in a memory, it has to have some kind of thread between them to kind of justify getting put in there. So, all right, we brought out in 2 prompts. We're on a roll. Let's do another 4. It's like yeah, it's like the random number generator wants 4s. So let's see here. Where am I? So we're on 95 plus 4 is 99. Let's see. Oh, interesting. This is an intriguing prompt. I'm impressed with it. So the mortals here are doing something which endangers their environment, perhaps inadvertently poisoning the water or soil. You recognize that you will suffer with them, being able to able to feed only off them, and so undertake to stop this foolishness. Check a skill. Ooh. All right, so that's interesting. Let's see. Undertake to stop their foolishness. Okay. So let's get off of memories for a second. Let's go to the character sheet. What do I have for unchecked skills that I could use here? Do I create a whole bunch of vampires? Let's see. Mortals are temporary. Holy crap. I don't have a lot of good skills to really make this happen. Or maybe it's basically this gruff passage that I kind of talk hard and they do what the hell I want. I don't even know what it is yet. So what is this thing that they're doing? Um, let's see. Um, um, this is so tough. I don't have to figure out what this environmental thing is, but how I'm gonna stop it. Let's say that. Oh, okay. So now I've had though I've long since forgotten this memory. I before I run into a like snake oil salesman, if you will. Um, let's say that there's a snake oil salesman who is um trying to basically giving them stuff to put on their crops in hopes of like getting rain, or maybe he's shooting. Oh, he's like shooting stuff into the sky like with a cannon or something, um something like that, or with a something, and trying to cause rain. And in essence what it's doing is um it's actually the whatever he has in it, it's probably like mercury and stuff, is totally hurting the crops. Or because they think they can call the rain like this, they're not really taking any steps to um steps to kind of uh you know otherwise take care of this and fix the problem. um so let's see. I wish I could remember what looking inside was all about. I think I'm going to use this one. It looks like something like, look inside you. Let's do that. Let's have some fun. Not that every prompt is not fun. So I'm going to approach the snake oil salesman and basically have a little conversation with him. So let's go to the journal. All right. Well, let's see here. So this is, wow, this is prompt 50 of this game. 50, 99. First of that prompt. And let's give it another, I don't know. There's nothing really to stick around for to kind of keep these years small. So let's give it a 20 years. So 30, 1430. Let's see here. Uh, for the better part of 5 years, I take up residence in a small German town. They are quiet and good folk, so I find myself doing what I can not to harm them when I have no need. They have given me shelter from the sun, which has endeared me to them. So I defend them when necessary. But they, let's see here. Snake oil. Let's call him snake oil salesman. And and his wagon come into the village one day. Let's put this up. With promises of bringing rain to the drought-stricken crops. He, let's see, masquerades as a scientist, but but I see only a man trying to fleece the villagers of their coin. They are strictly God-fearing folk, and I know that if harm befell this, what's a word for like a scoundrel? Thank you, Scott's Brain. If any harm befell a scoundrel, that they would take it as a bad omen, and my time there in the safety of their village would be over. So I decide to meet with the man in the dark of night in his wagon and explain to him what he is doing to these people, and that I have seen such folk driven to ruin by those such as him, and that I will not allow it. He looks in my eyes as I look into his soul, and knows that only damnation awaits him should he push his ruse any further. With that, he stays one more day in the town to make his apologies, return their money, and continue on his way, hopefully a changed man. Interesting. So I didn't have to do this, but I kind of brought a sense of like empathy for these people. So again, I really do think he's at the point where mortals are little, blips on the radar of eternity, not to really be concerned with. But if he finds someone with worth, suddenly that, or in this case, the entire village, they suddenly have worth to him, even though they're this little speck on the radar. If they have some kind of worth to him, then suddenly he feels for them, and then he'll protect them, etc. So I think there's this thing in him where he wants to protect those who are deserving of his protection. So but if you're not in that group, you're a goddamn blood bag to him, period. So interesting. Let's see here. Okay, so let's go back and make the make the experience. So yeah, look inside. I think that was well used here, so I'm happy with that. All right, so let's go make the memory, and interesting. I don't know. I think I'm gonna get rid of this. I just don't see this really doing anything for me here. This again, I believe what I did was with this prompt, I had to get rid of the memory of, well, or did I have to get rid of? I don't recall. I had to get rid of the memory of Ingrid to begin with, but I'd still have a memory of finding her grave. So uh, it's really not useful to me. So I'm happy to give this one away. Again, it only kind of shows how he gives zero shits about human life. If even if they so much as remind him of something that he'd rather not remember. All right, let's get back and create a new memory. Let's create memories together. Oop, that's not what I wanted. All right. In my stay with a small village, a snake oil salesman tries to fleece them of their money. I talk with the man and assist him in coming to the realization that his actions can only damn him. So he moves on. All right. That was an interesting prompt. That was an intriguing one. All right. On to the next. We're already on to the next prompt. Let's see here. Ooh, -1. Let's see. So we were on 99? Yes, 99. Let's see. Oh, this is an interesting one. Let's see. And lose any station. Wow, this is a hard one. This is interesting. Um, let's see. Okay, so prompt 98. The mortals here are taking some new precaution against you, something which makes their blood taste strange. Feasting on them gives you vertigo. Some of your teeth become loose. Check a skill and lose any stationary resources as you escape to less provocative environments. Now, I did forget that urn thing was stationary. Um, I'll lose it. Maybe we'll find it again in the future, but I'll go with what this prompt says. So I was already moved on from that prompt or from that stationary resource anyway. But I'll lose it now. So my heart is gone. I have no heart. It's out there somewhere potentially. So yeah, this is an interesting one. So let's see. So what they're doing something. Let's see here. So let's go to skills. Interesting. So I have to check a skill. Let's read it one more time. So the mortals here take new precautions against you, something which makes their blood taste strange. Feasting on them gives you vertigo. Some of your teeth become loose. Check a skill. Lose any stationary resource as you escape. Ooh. I wonder. So I wonder if things are like the pendulum is shifting on this village. Um, so this last prompt, he was all about protecting them because they were good to him and they actually shielded him from the sun. Maybe they saved him while he was on the road or something, but he felt that they were worthwhile, so he, you know, didn't just murder everybody. Maybe he still fed on them. I think this prompt tells me that he did, or at least after that last prompt, he does feed on them, but from time to time. Um, let's see. This is a tough one. Check a skill. I'm okay. Let's just get all dirty here. So let's all right. Okay. You brought it to this. Let's see here. All right, we got to get our feeding face on. There's gonna be a lot of blood. All right. So this will be mortals are temporary. Time to check it. Sorry, villagers. All right. Here we go. All right. So this is prompt 51. 51st prompt, I should say. Let's see. So this is 98. The first and this one has only one prompt to it. So let's give it another 5 years. So 1435. So he's after this he spends more time with them, and again maybe he's almost decided that he deserves some of their blood for his protection of them. And again, I want to say he makes certain that none of them ever die from a feeding, and none ever get sick because of it. He'll rotate so not it somebody gets anemia and stuff like that. Maybe even supplements with animals. So let's see. I mean, let's put that in there. Let's put that in the description. Let's see. After several more years of living amongst the villagers, I have taken to feeding on some of them in small amounts, supplementing my needs with local animals. The villagers take the carcasses as a gift and enjoy the meat. They feast on it after I feasted on it. Several of the older villagers, however, become suspicious of me and put some old folk legends into play. Let's see. Dishes are now doused with garlic and have enough. Is it wolfsbane? To have, and let's see, also have wolf's bane, though not enough to sicken anyone who should eat it. When I feed off the villagers, at that point, I find that their their blood tastes disagreeable, and I find that my teeth, that several of my teeth are getting loose in their sockets, and it doesn't take long for me to investigate and then deduce what is happening. The villagers who have been under my protection have violated our unspoken covenant. This cannot go unpunished. one night as they celebrate the I don't know what the hell holidays would they have. Let's see, Christmas wasn't really a holiday until like the 1800s or something like that, or 1700s. I say like the Yule holiday. All partaking of a meal in the great hall of the village. I step inside and let my anger at their betrayal become manifest. Man, woman, child, none escape my wrath. By the time I am done, and the only sound is dripping blood and the last sighs of life escaping mortal forms. I take stock of what I have done and find my judgment true. Let's see. I set every last building aflame as I leave the village behind. As I leave the village behind. Ready to find my way on the road again. Whew. Well, that was a tough one for the villagers. Alright, so let's go to memories. Yep, so mortals are temporary. Yes, they are. So again, that's part of me now. That's something I do. I can do. Let's see here. So this thread is the village, so let's go with that. Eventually, the villagers begin eating light garlic and wolf's bane and attempt to harm me, which it does. I destroy the village and murder. We're not just killing, we're murdering every last mortal there, leaving fiery, what's that called when you're English words? I need English words. Fiery pyre in my wake. It's a pyre. All right. All right, we're done with feeding phase. All right. That was a tough break for those villagers, I'm telling you. All right, so let's see here. Looks like we can go to the next prompt. 0. I don't think this prompt has a second. It does not. Yeah, I mean, I can't. There's nothing to really repeat here. I'll re-roll this one. I would have loved for there to be a second thing there, but there is not. So 8. Oh, geez. All right. So 98 plus 8 is 106. All right. Oh, geez. Let's see. Ooh, this is a weird one. So, prompt 106. On a clear, bright night in a broad field, a small group of mortals mistake you for an otherworldly being. How do they address you? What do they ask of you? What do you do for them? Rate a skill. Let's see. Um, wow, that's an interesting one. That has some possibilities here. All right, so the questions are: how do they address you? What do they ask of you? What do you ask for them? Rate a skill. All right, so let's do the skill part first. I lost, or I checked a skill, and now I make a new one. All right. So let's call this masquerade as a. Wow. So it's like worldly has to be a demon or a angel. Let's do angel. Let's have a ball. All right. Cool. Let's go and bring this over to. Phew. Pardon me. All right, so let's do the journal real quick. Well, not real quick, you know what I mean. All right. So this is the 52nd prompt of the game. This is 106, first and only. And let's call this another 5 years, so 1440. All right. In making my way let's try this. In traveling at night in the evening, I use my vampiric, to race through the woodlands, covering many more miles in that night than any mortal could have dreamed of traveling. Moving so fast, I found myself leaping from a cliff side, and to my surprise, a group of pilgrims were camping at its base. The moon was full, and their view of my quickly descending form was in clear view. And their view of my form was crystal clear. When I landed on the ground and was unharmed, they had assumed that their prayers had been answered by an angel of the Lord. So, see, the second part is like, so what do they ask of me? What do they ask you? What do you do? What do you do for them? How they address you? Let's see here. They address me as the... Is it an archangel? Michael, as the oldest amongst them, deduced that I must be, and asked for me to bless them on their pilgrimage and to carry a message to the Almighty that their village had fallen on hard times. Their city, let's make it a city. Their city of, oh gosh, I'm not going to give a name right now, had fallen on hard times and disease, even though they were fervent in their beliefs. And let's see, there's a, and they begged his intervention. So part of this is going to be a maybe to be continued. We'll have to see. Let's see here. I let them believe what they willed and told them that I would not only bless them, but that I would personally intervene at their city in due time, and to remember my face for when I showed up, and to show me the greatest of hospitality. So this is to be continued in terms of, does he ever show? Maybe that's what the next prompt is going to bring us. We shall see. While I'm at it, I'm just going to make some copies of the prompts here. Give me a second. Right. That'll keep me for a session or two. All right, so let's make the memory real quick. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe this goes here. Like, okay, so I'm becoming human again. I'm becoming not human again. Maybe this going back and forth between human to finally be closed out by this experience of being taken for yet another being. Let's do that. Let's put that. When it travels, I am mistaken for an angel and have promised to assist an ailing city. Time will tell if I carry through on my oath. All right. Remove that. Let's do that. All right, that's a little better. Well, not really. I'm not too worried about this. All right. Time for another prompt. Let's see where we go. 3. All right, so 106 to now 109. So some of these prompts here have multiple ones now, multiple subsections, but not all of them. All right, so 109. No, this is the dumbest one I've come about so far. This so you become a butler for a family of bears who live in a cave in the woods. Create 5 mortal bear characters: Brambly, Tuck, Tim, Dobkin, and Sharmaya Yasha. What do they love about you? Create a skill about butling. That is dumb. I will not do this. Plus, the sub one of that is a family of bears is hosts of pie eating competition. Ask you to become the master of ceremony. Now, unless I've completely gone insane as a vampire, this is the dumbest prompt yet. So I'm going to reroll this through this. -4. So, okay, so we go from 106 to 102. Let's see. Oh, that's a weird one. Well, sure, let's do it. So, okay, 102. Moving through woodlands, you feel drawn to a particular tree. You stay with it, get to know its rhythms, the rhythms of its life, the life it supports as time spins dizzily forward. Strike out all mortal characters. Huh. Alrighty. That sounds on the verge of silly, but I can see him getting attached to even this kind of thing, this mystery of life type of situation. So let's go for it. Let's see here. Strike out all mortal characters. Come on. Mouse doesn't want to do its thing here. There we go. Okay. And I don't think I have any mortal characters. Yeah, they're all my mortal characters are dead. All right, so we'll gloss over that part. I literally just kind of recovered from 100 years of being away, so now I'm going to take another leap in time. So let's do it. Let's go for it. All right. Let's see here. This is 53. Let's see. 102 first, and let's see here. 14. Oh, geez. Well, it looks like I'm not going to show up at that city, huh? Let's say 50 years, so 1490. So yeah, those people have been waiting for this angel to come and you know save the city. This servant of God, and he just never shows up. He finds this tree. All right, my wanderings. Or actually, sorry, this will be like we'll make this 1441. Let's make it 40 the same year. So then the next one will be skipping ahead the 50 years. This is still in 1440. I come upon a great and magnificent oak tree. Its life has spanned centuries and brings me to feel a melancholy. Is that how I spell it? Sure. Melancholy? What is it? How do I spell it? Alright, we're just gonna go with it here. Melancholy, like I never had before. Like me, it was virtually immortal. But instead of taking from the world, it worked within it and created its own life. This maybe, I mean, this is like a weird turning point for him. I don't know yet. I was drawn to its majesty and sought to join with it and get to know it, and perhaps to witness some of the life that it perpetuated and carried on through the years. I found myself desiccated from loss of what are we calling it? Blood, loss of loss of. I'm thinking this word here again. English is coming hard to me at this moment. So from loss of. Oh, I'll spit blood. I don't want to say her too long. Of blood, and found that as I sat at the tree, it partially enveloped me over the years, and my skin, rough as it was, would look as bark to any passer-by. Decades passed as I witnessed the tree's own life. Interesting. All right, let's do the memory. Let's see here. So do I forget my last slumber because of this one? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, my latest slumber makes me forget about my last one. Let's put that in forgotten. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we are. In traveling, I pass a majestic tree and find myself drawn to it and its own life force, so different from my own. I slumber at its base and become part of it for decades. Cool. All right, next prompt. We're on a roll here. All right, 3. Let's see here. Okay, so was on 102. Plus 103 is 105. Let's see. This is a weird one. I'm just kind of looking over the various subplots, subpoints to it to see if this is a worthy thing. Let's go for it. All right. So 105. You've created a nest, a collection of objects arranged in a way that brings you feelings of calm. What have you fashioned it of? Ooh, this good link to the tree. What structure is housed in? Create a stationary resource. Give it a name. While here, your loneliness and sadness can't touch you. Interesting. All right. I think this is a good transition from the tree thing. So let's go with it. Let's see. You know what? Actually, yeah. Let's give it a name. This is an immovable resource or stationary resource. Oh, I forgot to strike this one out. Right. The tree. All right. Grab this one for memories, and let's do the journal. All right. Okay, so this is 54th prompt. 105 is the first of it, and I think I said the years. We're going to do 50 years, so 1490. What happens in 1492? All right. Waking from my slumber with my tree, I feed on the woodland animals and come back to a full, like a full to, let's call it back to my full stature and vitality. I find that the tree is a place of safety, and I build a house in its boughs. Within, I make several marks. Within, so I have to place something. I don't really have any objects that I really can put here by the prompt, but let's see here. Let's see within. I place the antlers and bones of some of my prey and find that it soothes me to live here in this place and to absorb the life of the animals indigenous to the area. For some time, the blood of mortals does not touch my lips, and I find that I am content for a while, at least. Okay. Make the memory. So this definitely fits here, obviously. Upon awakening, I create a home in the branches of the tree. For some time, I find contentment. Good. Awakening. Okay. Looks like we're ready for the next prompt. Where will this take us? -3. Oh, interesting. So let's see. Where are we? So 105 to 102? Is that again? Oh gosh, let's see. Interesting. Okay, so this is moving on with the tree thing. This is a little more deep than I had originally wanted to go. Um, Again, this is getting towards the nonsensical, but I did the first prompt, so I'll do it. So at some point, the large, beautiful tree which you were drawn to begins to talk to you. You talk about the things long gone. Create a stationary immortal character. What else do you talk about? Check a skill as you provide something the tree desires. What does the tree give you? Create a resource to reflect its gift. So let's see, I have to check a skill to provide something to the tree. And in return, the tree gives me a resource. So I suppose this really kind of does proceed off of this, where I basically have communed with this tree I've never have communed with anything before. I've touched its life force and been part of it. So who's to say that I suppose this makes sense, kind of. So let's do this. Let's do the bookkeeping first. Let's check the skill. Let's see here. Let's see. What do I do for it? I'm gonna say use this skill to protect it from being chopped down. In return, what does it give me? Okay, so let's see, read this again. Check skill. What is your okay? So basically, I have to create a stationary mortal character and a resource. So I suppose let's do the character real quick. All right, the tree. And I already, it's interestingly, I already have it as like a, did I do this before as a stationary resource? I think I did. All right, well, this gets more interesting. Let's see here. I think he will give me a club from the tree. So yeah, let's just go into the journal and do it like that. Hold tight. All right. All right, so this is the 55th prompt. Where are we again? Number 102. It's the second prompt of this one, and 1490. Let's say 1500. Spending time living in the tree, both a part of it and as a denizen of its branches, find that I can commune with it and it with me in return. I protect it through the years from harm, cutting down several woodsmen who sought to use it to build or burn. In return, the tree gave me a stout branch which I carved into a club of some into a club carry with me. Not too inspired on this one. Now we're halfway through the session, so this is usually the point where I start to get like a little more less uninspired as the creativity kind of on itself, that type of thing. But we're going to continue on. We're going to do the 3 hours tonight. And actually, my precursors are entirely gone right now, so that's a good thing. All right, so let's see here. All right, so let's make the memory, or the experience rather. And let's see. All right, looks like this memory number 2 is all about the tree. The tree begins communing with me, and I call it friend. I'm protecting it from woodsmen. In return, it gives me a mighty branch to use as a club. Alrighty. All right. That was an interesting one. Ooh. Pardon me. All right, time for another prompt. 2. All right. 102 to 104. Oh, geez. Let's see. Oh my god. This is so weird. I mean, it makes sense, but it's funny. So it's yet again, time is going to pass. So prompt 104. The earth hungrily swallows you. You fall into a sinkhole. You are swept away by underground currents. Lose any resources you weren't carrying. Resources. Oh, like, okay, I got you. Losing resources you weren't carrying. You spend a few years beneath the ground trying to fit yourself through thin passages filled with rushing water. Gain a skill. Emerge from beneath the ground years later near a coastline. All right. So let's go straight to resources. So I lose what I don't have on me. This is a tough one. I think it's time to let go of Counselor de Klaus. That ship has long since sailed. Arcane lineage, I don't see it. Carrying the club. I'm gonna say I'll lose it. Yeah, I'll lose the tree. That'll be a sad moment. All right, let's do it. Let's see. So we've done that. Journal time. All right. So let's see. 56. Prompt. What was it? 104. 104. It's the first, and let's call it 1505. whilst taking a short hiatus from my tree, I commit a misstep and find myself taken by a sinkhole. I find that I do not have leverage or purchase enough to escape, and find myself digging as I had in years past to shelter from the sun in an effort to escape this fate. Escape the fate. Years go by, and eventually I find that I have worked my way into a waterway and reach the surface of it to find myself next to the coast of the Atlantic. So he's in France or somewhere at this point. Interesting. Sure, why not? Is the Atlantic a little too far away? Let's do coast of a nearby river. Retracing my steps, find my way back to my tree, only to find that it has been chopped down in my absence. Only a mushroom covered stump left behind to tell that it had been there at all. Okay. So several years will pass. Again, this is not a huge leap here, so I'll just go 1505 to probably 1510 or whatever. Let's see what the prompt brings. But first, let's do the memory. All right, and I think it might be time to lose a memory. Let's see here. Oh, this is an interesting one. So again, this is like attachment to a place, and then the betrayal or the loss of it. So I think this works. I can logically go with this. I find myself swept away by a sinkhole. By the time I return to my tree, it is gone. It is with great sorrow that I bid it farewell and continue on. It was not as immortal as I had thought. Ooh, that's deep stuff right there. Okay, oh, the full notice. All these memories are filled. I'm going to be losing a memory next time. All right, let's go for it. Let's find out what that is. -3. Let's see. So 101 from 104 to 101. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. So 101 is in a mountain retreat, you meet an elderly hermit and share a lengthy and enjoyable conversation. What topics are discussed? Their method for discussion and communication is clear and lovely. Create a skill around dialogue or communication. Interesting. Okay. Let's create that skill. I already have something in mind here. Let's see. Okay, so um, philosophy, philosophy of immortality. Okay, let's go straight over to the journal. And let's see here. All right, so this is prompt 57. 101, I believe. Let me just double check. Yes, 101. It's the first of this one, and let's call it 1510. Oop. 1, 1510. All right. Let's see. After leaving my tree behind, I simply wander the earth without goal or direction in mind. I find myself one night upon a high hilltop, and sitting there enjoying the night air is a hermit. To call him lonely would be a misnomer, for he was as content as I was living in my tree, and I envied him. We spoke at length that night, about immortality and how even such a thing as that could potentially be fleeting. Though I am sure that he never suspected my true nature, he was impressed by my wisdom and thoughts to share about both the mortal and immortal condition. When we parted ways not long before sunrise, I left him. Oh, did I die? Oh no. I left him unharmed and thanked him for his wise company and conversation. Cool. Go ahead and do the memory of this. All right, we definitely have to get rid of a memory here. Let's see. So I did mention like the tree in my thing, so I can't get rid of this. Yeah, I can't. I want to. The tree thing is important. The moment. I'm gonna get rid of this one. This is my last vestige, my memory of Klaus. This is kind of big. Uh, let's see here. I could put it in a diary, but wow. And then I'll forget my name Salah too. Interesting. I'll keep my Swedish name, the most recent. I'm just gonna let's get rid of this. I haven't been a big on doing diaries yet, even though I could. I don't have a diary presently, so you can, if you don't have one, you can create one. But this is, I want this one to be hurtful, and it sucks because one of the things about the Klaus subplot was that I found him to be like a worthy mortal. I followed him. I called him my lord. Um, and I treasured him enough to try to protect his line. I was one of my things was going to be, protecting his line till the end of time. And the prompts, as anyone who's played this game will tell you, the prompts screw up all your plans. It's hard to plan for the future when the prompts just give and take away and change and alter and surprise. So this is a particularly hard one. Again, he's like, the Klaus subplot was huge. This is the first time in so long that he found a mortal worthy and served him willingly. So the fact that now, Klaus is definitely obviously long dead, but now he's just gone and forgotten, which is sad, you know. Yeah. All right, so let's make the new memory. Encountered a hermit on a tall hilltop and spoke with him at length about mortality and immortality. It is mortals such as he that give me pause to see them as specks in time. So again, this guy, he shared something with him, and it was this talk of mortality and immortality, and maybe there's something to this. Though mortals really are just specks in time, maybe they're more than that because of that. Interesting. The prompts really get deep without, it kind of sneaks up on you. So always impressed. All right. It's time for another prompt. 2. All right. So 101 to 103. Let's see. This is weird. Let's see. Okay, so the prompt is 103 is attached to a cavern or sewer system familiar to you. You find a newly made room full of mortal children with a foreign look. They are sick and fearful. Most sleep. A small group approaches you. Make 3 mortal characters. Check a skill as you interact with them. Wow. Wow, this is an interesting one. Okay, make 3 mortal characters. Check a skill. I want to say my knee-jerk reaction is to say that I'm like, I made my way to England, and or maybe how about Spain? Let's do England, only because I don't know if Spain had did the whole slavery thing, and probably did. In fact, they were like right there. Let's go Spain. Yeah, Spain was really right across the Straits of Gibraltar from Africa. So let's say these people are slaves. It's gonna be interesting. So let's do. So they're escaped slaves, and thanks to this philosophy of mortality thing, uh, that's should I just do that? Interesting. So maybe again, this talk with the hermit touched me in a way that again maybe these humans aren't specs, and even more so to live in bondage is wasteful of this small time. So maybe it's time to protect somebody from that. All right, let's do this. Let's check philosophy. That was helpful. So we're going to do this and create 3 mortal characters. Oh gosh. Let's see. And I'm going to lose, let's see. Yeah, so we lost the tree, so I forgot about that. And let's see here. So 3 mortals. Let's take a quick exploration here. All right, let's call it. Come on. Okay, so let's say they're from Algeria. Okay, so name's already jumping out at me. Khalil. Mustafa. And let's see here. And a woman. Or girl. Let's see here. Latif. All right. So these are the names of the 3 children. Oh, good enough. Keeps wanting to go to grid here. Okay, don't care. Let's see. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to journal. All right, so this is prompt 58. Wow, we're cruising here. Let's see, was 101, 103, 103. First that, and let's call it. He did some traveling. He was in Germany. Now he's in Spain. So let's just jump ahead to 1530. Let's see here. Let's see. Wanna use this a little. All right, Seville. Sure. I'm the barber of Seville in Spain. Did not know that until this many years old. All right. Having taken up residence in Seville in Spain for several years, I find the nights intriguing and full of readily available victims. Though I do try not to kill, they are mortals after all. One night on the prowl, I hear voices coming from a nearby sewer drain and decide to investigate. Once below the surface of the street and walking through sludge that smells like death, I find a room, that had been dug in the stone, likely for use as a station for the builders who created the cistern for the city. It had been cleaned as much as something such as that can be, and within it were several African children. Several sleeping, but 3 who were on guard and with mere sticks attempted to defend the others from the interloper, which was me. I found their strikes amusing and admired them for facing whoever or whatever came upon their comrades, fellow escaped slaves. Regardless of the cost to themselves. Let's see. Khalil Mustafa Latif. Their names were Khalil, Mustafa, and Latif. And once they determined that I was not a threat, they lowered their guard. Let's see here. I spoke with them and quieted their fears and let them know that I would not suffer them to live under the yoke of slavery again. I gave them my word for what that has become to being worth. To be worth, which, for whatever that has come to be worth these nights. All right. Go ahead and make the memory. Let's see. So again, I kind of use the skill I got from the hermit here, so it definitely is the link between them. Let's see here. In Seville, Spain, I encountered a group of children, escaped slaves. I decided to give them my protection. They would never be slaves again. We'll see. You know how the prompts go. Alrighty. Time for another prompt already. 9. Whew. Alrighty. So let's see here. So this is 103 plus 9, 112. Interesting. Okay, so 112 is a mortal somehow catches you unawares and brandishing a knife asks, "What's life worth to you?" How do you confront this philosophical question and this fool of bad judgment? Create a skill. All right, I'm going to make it related to what we just did in this last prompt, I think. So we'll tighten up the years here. All right, so create a skill. So I will spoiler alert it and call this skill Show of Mercy. Okay. Over to memories for the next step, but we're actually going to do the journal. Oopsie. Sorry about that. All right. So, let's see. So, 59. I believe this is 112. Let me just double check that. Yep. It's the first and 1530, same year. While making arrangements for the children to be taken out of the city and transported elsewhere, I am accosted by a mortal with a knife and a want of coin, who asked, what was the question? What's life worth to you? As he threatened me with his blade. A smile crossed my lips as I snatched the blade, the knife, from his hand with amazing speed and no real effort. Explained to him that the lives of some were worth more to me than the lives of others, and that Let's see. And that if he would aid me in my, I want to call it a quest, in my goal to move the children from the city, that I would consider him the worthwhile, and he could live. Not having another logical option, he took me up on my offer and my coin. Give him some coin. It can be said I had coin. And aided me in driving a cart with the children, one and all, out of the city and into the countryside. So I generally try not to extrapolate too much with the prompts, but I think this is fair. I mean, especially when we consider the last prompt and what I was trying to do, what my goal was. So I think that's fair. And we're at 1530. Wow. We have done some traveling, boys and girls. So Spain is by this time has already discovered the New World and reported back, and that's the New World is a thing. So let's see if any prompts take me there or what's going on. Let's see. All right. So let's make the memory and we'll continue on. Keep hitting us. Let's see. And again. A man attacks me and asks if I value life. And after showing him mercy, he aids me in getting the slave children out of the city. An act which saves his life. I find him worthy. All right. All right. Time for another prompt. 1. Big 1. All right. So 113. Ooh, interesting. So, of late, as you draw near, animals have begun to start with fright, pitch dramatically, or flee. Which animal's actions made this clear to you? Take the mark. Animals fear me. Ooh. All right. Let's go to marks. And animals fear me. All right. Okay. Let's get ready for memories, but we'll go over to journal as always. Alrighty. So this is 60. It's 60th prompt of this game. And this is just one ahead, 113. First of it, and I think it only has one. And let's still call this 1530. I want to kind of play this out, this section here. Oh, hey. I think I have it. Okay. In an effort to get the children to some semblance of safety, I book passage on a ship bound for a place from my past. Cairo. It's like if you have slaves that are on the run, what's the best way to protect them? You know, he's thinking, and I'm thinking maybe he just falls back on what he knows, where he's been. He's been to Cairo. Um, in hopes that they will be far out of harm's way and will live content lives free from enslavement. Um, Several nights into the voyage, I noticed that the rats on the ship avoided me. In fact, I found that as I moved to one side of the ship, all of the rats tried to gather at the other, even going so far as to jump to their deaths in the sea when I would corner them. While the sailors took no notice of the rats' perceptions of me, they were certainly happy for the ship being free of vermin. Perhaps for the first time in the ship's existence. Alright. Spelled. I can never. That's one of my occasions and existence. Existence? Why is it not like that word? Oh no. Well, we'll let it go. Alright. Cool. So let's make our memory. Or experience, rather. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I think. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of this memory. I'll forget about the village. I'll forget about my destruction of it and them kind of trying to basically finding me out. And finally, the sinkhole by the tree was a part of this, so I'll forget about that. All right. I'm ready to forget about the village. They meant nothing to me. So let's get read memories. Okay. All right. Start some new memories. Let's see here. During my voyage with the children to Cairo, I found that the rats avoided me even unto their deaths. I am not certain if this is a blessing or curse as of yet. So, can you imagine, a vampire who lives on beasts suddenly scares them away, and now he has no choice but to kill humans. Lots of them. All right. Already on to another prompt. 5. Let's see. So we were on 113, so we're at 118. So this is like, it's weird because this prompt requires a prompt before it to have happened. This is a colleague or acquaintance thinks you are an imposter without the mark cured by the natural spring. If you have an appropriate acquaintance, create a mortal. If you don't have an appropriate acquaintance, create a moral character. Create a moral character. If you have, let's see, if you don't have an appropriate acquaintance, create a mortal character whom you've known for half a decade and momentarily forgot. How do you demonstrate you are yourself? Create a skill. So let's go with this. I did lose a mark a while back, but that was a long, long time ago. It was a long, long time ago that I lost the mark about with my skin being so white. Let's try to do this. So I had a mark cured. Let's see. I have another Lamia experience here. Lamia sees me and she knows of my white skin and she can't believe what she's seeing. Let's see. Yeah. What's a? How to demonstrate you are yourself? Oh, I can recite like history from the Crusades or something. Sure, let's do that. So I have a feeling it's time to get rid of another memory because unless I say it happened in Cairo. Sure. Let's make Cairo the link. It's in Cairo, and the children taken care of, paid for by a dash of coin. I am confronted by Lamia. And she does not believe I am who I say that I am. Oh, I did the memory first. Forgot. Oh, I broke my rhythm. I'll have to live with this. It's gonna be okay. I don't know who I say I am. So I recite the history of the First Crusade and a recounting of our meeting. So again, I'm doing a little extrapolation here, but at this point in the game, I've done what? How many prompts? 60? This will be 61. I think I'm at that point where I'm like at the advanced level here. I've done enough just prompts where kind of adding some flavor to them to make a different story. Well, not a different story, but maybe a better story. Is where I'm at. So let's go with it. All right. So yeah, let's go. Let's see. Let's actually, since we're here, doing things wholly all reversed. Let's make a skill. History of the Crusades. Okay. So let's go to the journal, totally in reverse of our normal way of doing things. And this is gonna be the 61st prompt. We are cruising along. All right, and this is prompt. Let's see here. 118. It's the first prompt, and we'll call it 1531. These voyages can be a little long. Let's see here. Once in Cairo, see to it that the children are taken in by a local merchant family. He does a lot of stuff with merchants through the years. This only seems right. Even if he doesn't remember it, it's like some kind of weird subliminal habit, maybe. Uh, and thanks to a stack of coin, will not only be well cared for, but will learn the trade. After making my way back to the port, I come face to face with none other than Lamia herself. Exclamation point. Her memories are even more addled than my own, and she challenges me in an alley, thinking me some kind of imposter. Quickly, I recount some of the history of the First Crusade and relate to her my memories, which I still maintain here, of the night that she made me into a monster. With that, she finds calm within herself and asks me to join her. Okay. Again, these journal entries sometimes take on a life of their own. You just do what the words tell you to do. And ask me to join her for a time in her travels. I have been alone without a long-term like without a long-term source of where am I going with this? I've been alone without a long-term ally or comrade at my side to share the years with. I find that though I mistrust her and part of me despises her, that the idea of her company is a welcome thought and change of pace, which I have not known in quite some time. Works. Cool. So the kids are taken care of, and I'm back to adventure. All right. So let's see here, and I think I already did all the other stuff. So let's see here. History of the Crusades. I got a nice list of stuff. You'll notice a lot of check marks here. So these are checked and unusable. So interesting. Let's see here. So do we? And we did make the memory, if I recall. Um, let's see. Oh, here we are. Yeah, confronted by Lamia. Okay, cool. All right, so it's time for yet another prompt. Let's go. All right, -4. Let's see. Where am I? Okay, so yeah, it was 118 was where we're at. -4 is 114. Uh, Interesting. Okay, so as you begin your daily ablutions, which I believe from the context here, I actually don't know what the word means, but I'm going to assume it means like cleaning and, personal hygiene. The water in your basin grows hotter. Experimenting, you remove your hand. The water cools. You return your hand to the water, and it works itself to a boil, scalding you. Why would water wish you ill? Take the mark. Water seeks to burn me. Whew. Wow. This is gonna make sea travel a lot more scary. A lot more scary. That could be my downfall. But let's go for it. This is a perfectly reasonable uh prompt. Let's go for it. Animals fear me. So this is water seeks to burn me. All right. So it's like that the T-shirt. Fish fear me, women love me. This is animals fear me. Water seeks to burn me. I don't think that'd be as successful a T-shirt, but whatever. Alrighty. So let's see. So we've done that. Let's do it the right way and do the journal first. Let's see. I'm gonna say it's another 5 years. So okay. So 62. Let's see. 118. This is actually now prompt 114. We're -4. First and only really. So let's give it 5 years. 1536. Okay. Let's see. With Lamia has become a boon to my existence. Spell it wrong. Each night we both feed and share memories. We experience the world and walk it as few other beings can. Let's see here. Can't think of anything. Okay. Maybe it's because I'm now spending more time with the vampire. That may be something. That's why the mark surfaces. I cannot explain it other than because my maker has such close contact with me that new vampiric weaknesses and harms become apparent in my form. The touch of water quickly heats up and threatens to burn me if I linger for too long. Not the holy water of legend, but simple water from the earth in spring. Well, Lamia's company pleases me. I only hope that no further weaknesses bear their heads at me. I think this is like 2.5 hours in talking here, so it's getting interesting. I think this might be my last prompt now after we do this memory, and then one more prompt. But let's do that. Let's do the memory real quick. Okay. Well, let's see. All right, so now travels. This fits. Traveling with Lamia, I find that simple water can be made to burn me if I linger long enough in it. The idea that Lamia's presence may be causing this is disconcerting. Alright, cool. Alrighty, I think one more prompt and we'll probably have hit the mark here. So let's do it. Let's find out what this is. 6. Alright, so what was 114 plus 6 is 120. Wow, this is an involved one. This actually is going to take us to the end of the night here. So 120. Someone has taken out advertisements that they want to live forever. Due to boredom, pity, or cruelty, you seek them out. Who do they tell you they are? Why do they wish to live forever? Create a mortal character. Explain to them your constant proximity to death. Explain to them what your constant proximity to death feels like. Kill a mortal character. Doesn't have to be them. I don't have any other characters, and I really feel like that I like would be proper for this. Let's see. Just curiosity. Yeah, I'm not gonna kill the children. They still have my love. So let's do the paperwork here, if you will, and let's create. Let's see. Harold. Let's see here. Leeds. So we're in England now. And seeking immortality. Herald of Leeds. Alright, so let's do the journal. It's gonna be an interesting one. Alright, so this is 63rd prompt. I'm still going strong. This is 120. Prompt 120 in the alternates. The first, and let's call it an even 1540. Alright. Well, in Leeds, England, I come upon a posting in a public square and discover that there are many duplicates littered throughout the city. Harold, a wealthy, what does he do? Wealthy, I don't want to make another merchant. I mean, spoiler alert, he's gonna die. Harold, wealthy, let's just call landowner. Has become ill. His mortality and seeks immortality and is willing to pay for it. I find this entirely amusing and decide to visit him in his large house. Just, let's see, on the outskirts of city. I enter quietly through the third-story window and make my way into his bedchamber, where I find him coughing up blood. Oop. His skin pale and clammy, even to my touch. Once I have his eye, I bare my fangs and order him to remain silent. We converse about the nature of his request, and he tells me that he feels that he could accomplish so much more in the world and leave a true mark if only he had years to spare. Ooh. I tell him of my own tale as I recollect it. Explain what it is like to be among the walking dead and to see life and death cross paths on a regular basis. I see from as I ask him to justify his request, and as he explains his desire for achievement to me, it becomes clear that he is just another rich old man afraid of the touch of death, and believes that he can buy his way out of it. He offers me everything. I take it, then take his life. In sweet irony and brief betrayal. As the light fades from his eyes, I let him know that I have shown him a mercy of a sort, as he would never have amounted to what he had envisioned for himself, and would instead have continued being a miserly curmudgeon for years to come, before he saw his own failings and sought to end his own life somehow. Sure, that works for me. Oh, wow. So 63 prompts. So let's kind of take stock again. Well, like I said, I don't think I have time for another prompt. Let's kind of take stock of where we're at here. I want to figure out how many prompts we did this session and how many years have passed. Um, let's see. Okay, so I think this is the last one. Museum, no, I'm past this. Ah, here, the community of artists was the last one. So let's see here. So prompt 47, the year is 1375. Yep. 63. So we did 16 prompts today? That's something. Well, let me just double check this. I'm pretty positive. Yeah, I'm right, but let's see. Yeah, we really covered some ground here. Oh, wait. Hold on. 40. Okay, so this was probably the last one. So after leaving the commune, let's see. All right, so I think, yeah, this was the last one. So yeah, so 48 was the first one of this session. 48, 1405 to 63. So wow, 15 prompts tonight. That's a lot. When I first started this, I would think I was going 9 prompts a night. But here we are. Here we are. So 1540 and 1540. So 135 years has passed during this session. That's a lot. That's a lot of years, peoples. Whew. So yes, my voice is hanging in there. I got some good advice from another solo role player out there. You basically keep hydrated, keep water handy. I actually didn't need any water. Feel like I needed any water, but I drank a lot of water, kept hydrated. We're good to go. And yeah, I felt this was a good session. We moved a lot. Some things changed. Again, one of the great things about this game is that again, you can't plan for anything because you don't know where the prompts are going to take you, and they take you in weird ways. Especially weird ways because I'm using the alternate prompts, which do have their own oddities to them. But it was a really cool session. I'm glad we went the way we did, and that um, you know my character, this vampire, um, has done a bit of changing. He's changed for good and bad, if there is such a thing, and a lot happened. So we even had some forgotten memories that really hurt, and they're forgotten. So interesting how the next session will go. Right now, things are going mechanics wise, things are going very well for me. I haven't gotten to a prompt where I've been, I have to die, and I haven't run out of resources or skill to check. So I'm pretty healthy there. So, as I said in a different session, my goal is to either die by the prompts or hit 10 sessions wherein I will either die or some act will befall me. Um, but I think this is number 5. I have 5 to go. That's a lot of prompts. So, and if I run out of prompts, like if the alternate prompts run out, then I'm dead, or somehow ended. We'll figure that out. But here we are. So yeah, I had a good time with this, and I'm looking forward to the next time already. So in the meantime, um, be good to each other, take care of yourselves, do something fun, and unlike my vampire character, go forth and do no harm. So take care, and I will see you next time. As usual, I am Scott of Scott's Case Files. If you're watching this on Twitch, all my stuff is below. Hit the about, and you can see all my social media links. If you're watching this on YouTube, all those links are in the description below. So again, I hope that you guys had as good a time as I did. It was very interesting and very eye-opening, some of these prompts. So take care. I'll talk to you again soon.